Hello, my fellow readers. I Dark Symphony 777 with another fanfiction review. As always, links to the story will be in the description below. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, click on that bell for notifications, leave a comment in the comment section below on your thoughts to the story, and finally, it's my opinion. My opinion is not indicative of everyone in the world, so please respect that. So, I got two stories today. One is Felony by the Third Kind. It's a SpongeBob SquarePants fanfiction. Someone actually suggested me this story. I actually didn't want to do this story immediately, but since I realized it's a very short story, I figured I'm just gonna squeeze it in. And the second story is Japari Idol by Le, Le, Leoquatus? I completely butchered that. But we're gonna start with a Felony. So, what is this story about? It's how do I describe this story without like referencing the Bikini Bottom horror? It's it is a story that exists. So the plot of Felony is more or less Plankton. That rough skin Plankton. That scallywag. Yes, my business art never says. Mr. Krabs, what are you doing? I'm reminiscing for some reason. But let me tell you a story. Yes, money. There be Plankton. Me and him were friends long ago. And we wanted to own a business together, but we had different ways of wanting to cook. I wanted it for the money, but I also understood the value of good food. Meanwhile, Plankton, he was obsessed with this thing called chum. Chum? Yes, chum. That sounds disgusting. It is disgusting. It's a good word. Get back to work. More or less, for those of you who don't know what chum is, chum is dead fish. Not dead fish as like sushi or like grilled fish. No. Chum is basically decayed fish kind of ground up. It's like a fish version of like ground beef. Like you ground beef to like beef and macaroni or like lasagna and stuff like that. No. Chum is basically the fish version of that. Now you kind of see why nobody wants to eat at the chum bucket. Poor Plankton. So, after years, and apparently years of nobody eating Plankton's food, because I don't think he realizes that, fish don't want to be cannibals. And also the fact that since he's not making any money, because, well, his business, no one's like eating his business and stuff like that, he goes mad. And then he just decides I'm just going to start killing people and kidnapping them and then using their bodies to have extra chum for any customers who want to come in. And it's like a weird horror. It's like a weird crime horror story, but it's not that good. It's not that good, all things considered. This story may not be good, Mr. Squidward. Master Krabs, what are you doing? I'm reading this newspaper. I don't know what this Bun Bun Maru says, but it sounds disappointing. That me does, Mr. Squidward. So more or less, the story just has SpongeBob, Patrick, and SpongeBob and Patrick get into like a fight. They get drunk off ice cream, which is like canon in SpongeBob. If you've seen the SpongeBob movie, they somehow get drunk off ice cream. Probably the ice cream is like laced with liquor or something like that. I don't know. They fight. Patrick gets kidnapped by Plankton, where Plankton reveals like his whole opus mirandi. Like he originally was great, like he was using like artificial chum at first, but then he started running out of money, and then he resorted to grave robbing. And then once he realized that there's a risk of being caught, which I'm gonna have to talk about because that's kind of, once he realized I could probably get better chum off murdering people and kidnapping because because I'm playing this word, the police are incompetent, and thus they are. And so he plans on killing Patrick to kind of refill, the like more supplies. Karen, his wife, saves him. Karen dies for it. Patrick finds SpongeBob. Maybe. SpongeBob tells Squidward, Mr. Krabs, and Sandy. Sandy immediately believes him because she never really, because again you're witnessing SpongeBob be ultra serious about something, which like is enough to make Sandy realize, okay, this is worth listening to and probably believing because SpongeBob's never serious about this. He's kind of goofy goober. Squidward, of course, is Squidward. He never really takes anything seriously. Mr. Krabs is on the fence, mainly because, again, with Sandy, seeing SpongeBob this serious, kind of thinks, okay, maybe I should believe him. But then he also thinks, wait a minute, this is Plankton. He's not really capable of doing something like this. So he kind of keeps it in the back of his mind, but he's like, he kind of brushes it off at the same time. Because it's like, again, Mr. Krabs known Plankton for years and years, so he's like, Plankton's not the type of person who would do something like this. So, maybe, maybe not. Plankton, however, goes completely paranoid. Apparently has a second person. Yeah, he's suffering from DID, dissociate identity disorder, which is code for a second personality, and that second personality is just a straight up psychopath and like lacks empathy. Is like trying to take over Plankton's body, and eventually does end with Sandy and SpongeBob trying to sneak into the chum bucket to find proof. Plankton capturing them. Patrick pulling up Patrick, kind of rushing into the chum bucket to see if like SpongeBob and Sandy are there. He gets kidnapped. He gets captured. They manage to get out through Plankton kind of using the last of his sanity to kind of get them out there and kind of like, okay, I'm gonna keep this voice in my head as safe as on like lockdown as long as I can. And he eventually and then Plankton technically dies when the psycho power to him just fully takes over. They run to the Krusty Krab. They kind of warn SpongeBob, Krabs, and Squidward. At this point, it's been like several days. They reiterate what happened. Squidward again doesn't believe him because it's fun, because yar, just be Squidward, and he's not impressed. Mr. Krabs, however, realizes, okay, now it's serious. Having SpongeBob disappear for several days, no contact, no business, just Gary by himself, probably dead. Then I had Gary, he's a resourceful snail. Gary by himself. No one's heard from him. No one heard from Sandy either. They go at the same time that they announced they disappeared on the same time they're going to infiltrate the chum bucket. Maybe I should listen to them and believe them more. They come in. Hey, SpongeBob Bob! You're alive! Now watch as I lower the price for you for a day. For 10 minutes. That'd be better. Oh wait. Store's closed. Darn it! Mr. Krabs! Hurry, boy! You're alive! Quick, we need to hide. Wait, what? Arr! Plankton, he got a gun! Quick, Squidward, gun please! Okay. 911, what's your emergency? Oh, we got a shooter in the Krusty Krab. Please help. It's Sheldon Plankton. Yes. What kind of gun? I got 911 to me. Wait, how do I know what a gun is? Nah, never mind. There's a cartoon logic. Well, cartoon don't make sense. Plankton. I'm ready to defend me, Freddy Cook. And his goofy friends, too. You think guns are afraid of me? You think I'm afraid of guns? Yes. I was in the Navy, but even I'm afraid of guns. Ah! I'm having too much fun with my Mr. Krabs voice. I'm having too much fun. So basically, there's like a little standoff, like Sandy and Krabs and Plankton. The cops show up. Plankton realizes I need to kill at least someone. It's like he spots Patrick. Like I'll do. He tries. He like waves a gun at Patrick and SpongeBob, and is like, "I will. I may not walk out of this alive. But at least I'm gonna kill you." And the cops manage to kill Plankton. They do like the whole. They couldn't save Karen. Implied. They do like a whole funeral. The entire police force got like a restructuring because they found out how corrupt it was. It was like, oh yeah, you let an obvious criminal who's actually committed tons and tons of crimes get away with it, and you didn't do jack. Yeah, but you arrested someone because they were going 2 miles over the speeding limit. Yeah. You idiot. Yeah. Ow! My leg! There's even a my leg joke here. Like, yeah. My leg! Because of course it is. And the plot is... It's very bare bones. There's not really a lot to it. The main issue is... I'm pretty sure this idea has just been done better on the site. I haven't read a lot. This is like the first SpongeBob SquarePants fanfiction I ever read, and I'm pretty sure this idea has just been done elsewhere on the site. I'm pretty dang sure. For what it is and what's trying to go for, it's just there's just nothing to it besides just a bare bones. Like it's trying to be a horror movie, but it's not really that scary. Like, if you want to say thriller, that works. But horror? Nah, it's just not horror. Crime? It does involve the cops. It does involve investigations. I guess you can kind of fit crimes in here. It's very... You have to stretch it, but you can do it. Characters? I think the characters are fine. The characters are all functional, but they're not really outstanding. Like, yeah, like they act like the characters. Like, oh, besides Mr. Krabs being like, I guess the only out of character thing you can really reasonably pull is Krabs caring for SpongeBob. I know, like, Krabs doesn't really care that much. Like, Krabs is just genuinely greedy. And I was like, but then again, there's also the fact that like part of the greediness comes from the fact that pretty much every single character in SpongeBob specifically after the first SpongeBob movie got really hyper caricaturized. So this could be like a thing of like, okay, we're doing like season 1, season 2, Mr. Krabs, who wasn't super greedy. He actually cared about SpongeBob, but he still had that greedy heart to him. So I guess you could kind of guess that kind of makes sense if you look at it that way. But it's like it's so hard to quantify because like I said, every single character got hyper characterized after the movie. It's just something that just happened over the course of the show. That's like, oh, we'll just play up all the like all the quirky behaviors of like all the characters to like 11, and we'll try and stretch out. It's up to like it's personal preference if you like that or not. I didn't really like that. I personally didn't like that. I like and like the quality of SpongeBob for like a while, for like years and years, like fluctuate. Like sometimes it'd be good, sometimes, but a lot of times it'd just be bad. And I think the characters in Felony, they're functionally fine, but there's literally nothing worth talking about with any of them. I guess you could talk about Plankton with like his DID, but there's like nothing to it because there's no explanation for it because it just kind of happens. Especially like something, especially just like something as complex as DID. Like I know that some people like naturally are born with it, but this one looks like it's just. But I know a lot of times that the idea is just actually created from like a lot of stress, and you just kind of break like you kind of create a personality to kind of act as like a buffer for the stress. It were I mean, with something like that, I think needed some sort of explanation. I think, but just like everyone else, Plankton is functional. He's just not outstanding. I'm pretty sure you find better like dark versions of Plankton elsewhere on the site as well. So there's just something that stands out with him. I grammar. Honestly, grammar's fine. I don't have any problems with the grammar. Same thing with the sentence structure. Same thing with the pacing. It is a fine enough short story that you can just kind of run through if you at the time if you have like an hour or two if you read fast enough, but nothing that really will stick to your head once you're finished. So so I think it it's this story is basically functional, but just nothing worth of substance. It's fine for what it is. It just it's just nothing really like nothing interesting worth talking about because it doesn't really do anything worth talking about. That's just me. But let's talk about a more interesting story. Japari Idol. This is a Kimono Friends. Everyone that doesn't know what Kimono Friends are. So basically, Kimono Friends was, I think, some kind of mobile game, some kind of weird mobile anime gotcha game, and they decided that we're just gonna make this into an anime, and the anime had like a like next to no budget, which if you actually watch the anime, uh, it's really janky animation. But it's kind of balanced by the fact it's like, okay, we're working with like a very, very low animation, so we're just gonna try and make the writing as good as possible. And that strangely made like a lot of people really like the anime because the anime had horrible animation, but apparently it had like really, really good writing. That's all centered around a this character, Serval, finding this person named Kaban that they called Kaban, and just trying to find like, okay, what kind of friend are you? You're not a Serval friend. Are you a raccoon friend? Oh, how about a penguin friend? Maybe a moose friend. And then just go around to like other exhibits at like Japari Park and just try to find where Kaban is home to, like what species Kaban is, while dealing with like these Selens and stuff like that. It's a very wholesome show. There's also like it has a lot of personality, and also it's surprisingly has a lot of relevant information, like teaching you how like certain animals behave through like visual storytelling. Like there's a character named General Moose.
You there, it is I, General Moose! 1v1 me, bro!
No, it's a thing that exists. Apparently, a lot of people really liked it to the point where like they compared it to another anime that came out around the same time. Wink, wink. And then they made a sequel, like a second season and no one liked it because no one liked the main character because they're kind of asshole. They also made like the animation worse somehow. I don't know the details on like the second story on the second season, but it's like a very quirky, wholesome anime. You can actually watch the first episode on YouTube for free on Crunchyroll's YouTube channel. So if you ever want to watch it, like kind of understand what like how fun like how weird it is, just go ahead and watch it. But Japari Idol takes place involving two specific friends: the alpaca friend, and the scarlet crested iblis friend. Yes, all the characters are just named after the animals they're based off. So Serval is based off the serval cat. Alpaca is based off the alpaca, the llama thing that just spits at people. We gotta go out Emperor Cusco in this bitch. No. Wait, is Emperor Cusco? Who's going specifically an alpaca? Hard to say. So what is this story about? Well, story is basically a singing competition. Sort of, kind of. More or less, alpaca. I'm just gonna call her alpaca. I'm just gonna call them by their animals. So just bear with me. This is gonna be weird. Alpaca is basically runs this little cafe up in the mountains, where she makes all these weird and wondrous things that are left behind by random people, just random beings that no one knows about, and they left behind this weird stuff called tea. And she basically makes all this tea to kind of just give to people. She's not selling the tea. She's kind of just come up here. I'll make a blend. What blend do you want? Here you go. Have fun. And Toki, who I'm going to refer to as the Crested Iblis because there's two Iblises in this story. So I'm just going to call the Scarlet Iblis and the Crested Iblis Toki. Toki is singing, and people are kind of asking, like, she's kind of asking, how do you like Toki singing? It's like, they don't really like the singing because she kind of just randomly sings about random stuff, and her singing is just kind of off. And meanwhile, Alpaca's like just happy that she's singing. There's like kind of like a hint of like romance to it. It's not really. There's no romance. Don't worry. It's straight up friendship, but it just kind of comes off as romance. But people start complaining about the singing, and Alpaca's just kind of Alpaca doesn't really want to hurt her friend's feelings by telling her that the singing is bad, but it's like they are getting complaints and stuff, and it's just a very wholesome story where it's really hard to describe like the plot, because it's like, despite it being only this long, it packs a lot of wholesomeness and a surprisingly weird, whack-ass, complex, almost unnecessarily complex plot for what is essentially a singing competition. Mostly like granted, most of the plot is like front-ended. Once we get past chapter 1, it just kind of boils down to like the two Iblises just wanting to sing because Crimson Iblis is just really tired of not working at the cafe. It's like, I want to sing here. It's like, well, I want to sing here for my friend Alpaca. And all that stuff. So Alpaca understands the complaints, but doesn't want to hurt Toki's feelings. Toki realizes that people are kind of complaining about my singing anyway, so she's going to go off to practice. Scarlet Iblis shows up, really jilted. It's like, you're not hiring me to sing for your cafe that you're giving free drinks to? Yeah. well, Toki's my friend. It's like, well, I'm the better singer. And then Toki shows up. They realize, okay, we're gonna sell this singing competition. Okay, and then they set up like this whole weird whack ass singing competition, where they basically they basically invite like as many friends as possible to the thing, and they have like this competition where like you have to match a tone, and then you have to come up with the best singing the best lyrics, and then it's like and they find out that Toki is like tone deaf, which means she can't really do the music stuff as easily as Scarlet is, and then of course their final round, because both of them won like one each, is like whoever's the loudest wins, bro. And then we got like, what is it? Yeah. They start just screaming. They just scream. And like even other characters are like, huh? What's that horrid screaming? Ah! It sounds like angry squawking. I mean, they're iblisses. They kind of squawk. And like then Toki realizes that she might lose the competition, and basically, more or less, the prize is just whoever wins get to sing for the cafe, and also to get like a little certificate saying like you're the idol, you're the idol. These things called humans, they worship these people called idols, and they brought attention, and they brought love and peace and prosperity. So it's weird. And like Toki got inspired because she realized she saw Suri, and Suri's like, and then she screamed, "Suri Alpaca's best tea is in the universe!" And like screamed so loudly that Alpaca's cafe kind of just got crushed by a boulder. Well, partially crushed by a boulder, and she's like, "I'm making and like even blue crested iblis like fly out of the sky and make it like an implant. And then the judge owl is like, yes, we could definitely use your sonic voice as a weapon against the Cellans. Like, did you have a singing competition to test friendship weaponry? Yes. Don't worry. We'll only use her in dire emergency. Woo-hoo. Flies away. And the story just kind of ends with Toki just singing, and it just kind of goes back to wholesome with like, yay, here's some tea, and even like the snake friend like tries to give her money. It's like, what's this? It's money. I bought tea from you. I'm supposed to pay for it? I don't want this. But how am I supposed to pay it? But I bought it from you. Like, I'm just giving the tea. Right? It makes no sense. You're running a business. This is a cafe. You're just ignore her. Okay. I will ignore her. I mean, we got like a little thing like Toki decided, okay, we'll do a duet with Scarlet Crest and Bliss. There's not much in terms of plot outside of it's a singing competition that's actually a weapon testing for Iblis voice based weaponry. But I think it's very wholesome. I think in terms of like what the plot does, it's mainly just a staging ground for like I just want to write a cutesy little story about a bird person having a thing about a llama's spitting hat, a llama's tea, and you're also my best friend. It's like, no, Iblis, you're my best friend. Hugs, lots of hugs. I think it's fine. I think it's very wholesome. There's not really much in terms of like a plot, all things considered. But I think for what it is, it's trying to do something cutesy. I think it's fine. Characters, I think I like the characters. All the characters are quirky. like Suri trying to be like constantly be supportive of Toki, despite everyone like both of them kind of realizing this thing kind of sucks, but realizing it's like, but what about you? It's like, no, even if everyone doesn't want to listen to your singing, I will listen to your singing because I am your best friend and your special fan. My special fan. Even I will always have that one special friend and that special fan. I will win this. I will win this. I will win this singing competition and prove that make it up to my best special friend. Special friend, special friend. Hugs. And it's very cute. The characters are very cutesy. Like I love Iblis. Iblis has a nice little arc about what like believing in herself and realizing that she always have Suri to kind of like be behind her and be like supportive of her, and Suri's like simply wants to be that supportive friend. I think it's a neat little dynamic. Scarlet is like is like just a harmless antagonist because at the end of the day, she just wanted to sing for her. Like they're both technically employees of Alpaca, but like she just wanted like I just want my singing because like Eblis is apparently known for singing, and all she really wants is to sing. Like proves that she's a better singer, but she's also like very vain because she's obsessed with Red. It's like even at the end, it's like I wonder if I can find a special friend who loves Red as much as I do. Okay. It's cutesy. Grammar errors. There's no grammar errors, I think. At least I didn't notice. Pacing wise, it's just a very basic short story. There's nothing really wrong with it from a pacing standpoint. I think it's fine too. Would I recommend these stories? I would recommend Japari Idol. I would recommend Felony, mainly because again, there's just nothing to Felony that would make me want to recommend it. But with Japari Idol, there's at least something to the story that's like, all right, it's very basic and very wholesome, but it's like at least there's something worth digging into. Well, it's just kind of a big pile of nothing that just exists. Now, I mean, if you're into like simple stories, go right ahead. But personally, I just think there's just the story just is just nothing. Uh, Favorite part? I don't really have favorite part of Felony with Japari. I don't maybe the whole gag with Tatsunoko trying to not Tatsunoko. Yeah, it is Tatsunoko. Tatsunoko trying to pay Suri and like Suri just kind of being confused and Tatsunoko's like, I paid you. I think that's kids. I think that's at least a neat joke, but that's fine. Whether if there's anything I would do to change the story, I think these stories are as good as I think they can be. So there's not really much I can go. At least for Japari Idol, there's some minor things I can think of with Felony, like maybe give an explanation for Plankton's DID. Oh, there is one other thing for specifically the Felony, and that is the weird whack ass plot hole with Plankton. So Plankton's whole plan with involving Chum, he originally was doing grave robbing. It's like, all right, that's okay, fine, it's grave robbing. So why do you switch up to murder? He realized in the story, Plankton switched from grave robbing to murder because he realized, oh hey, I might get caught from the cops, which doesn't really make a lot of sense when you think about it. Because not only is like there's a plot line that like a moment in the story where they're kind of reporting to the cop, where SpongeBob's reporting to the cops, and SpongeBob realizes the cops are kind of like massively incompetent. Especially since they do point, like the story does point out that like, okay, you didn't go after Plankton for years, despite the fact he was well known for being like an actual criminal. But then Plankton goes, I switched from grave robbing to murder because I might get caught doing it. But also he says, like, immediately after, the cops are just incredibly incompetent, so I can keep getting away with murder. That makes no logical sense, because then you can just... Why... I would... If there's one other thing I would say about fixing Felony, just get rid of the grave robbing. Just say he just wanted to commit murder because he's been spent so long not having customers, seeing Mr. Krabs, his arch nemesis, always being popular, that he just kind of went off the deep end. The grave robbing is just an unnecessary detail that really kind of messes up his whole motives. It's just very confusing. Like, you could leave it like the cops being incompetent. Like, okay, that works, because you do establish that in the story the cops are massively incompetent. That's kind of like why a lot of the story, pretty much this entire story, happens, is because the cops are incompetent. So I can kind of understand where the author is coming from with that. But adding the grave robbing is just a really weird added detail that just completely messes up his motive. And that's what I would do. So that is Felony and Japari Idol. This has been Dark Symphony 777, and cut.